Welcome back to the Couch Potato Show. This is episode 32. Back again with the boys. Frank, how we doing?
Fantastic.
And Eric.
A-okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Let's just get it started. Last night had a hell of a night with football games. We had the two college football semifinal games. Alabama took care of business against Notre Dame. I think the final score was 31-14.
Something like that, yeah.
And then we get to the nightcap where Clemson was heavily favored against Ohio State, and Justin Fields gets banged up in the first quarter and then turns into Superman and just completely goes off. 6 touchdowns for Justin Fields.
Unreal.
Ohio State killed Clemson. It wasn't even close. I think they won by like 21. But yeah, what were some of the takeaways you guys had from that game, or either of the games, honestly, because they were both phenomenal?
Yeah, they were both good games. From the Bama game, went exactly as I thought it would. Devontae Smith dominated them. It was pretty easy for Bama. You could see, and I want to say that the second quarter, I would say the game was over basically, even though they were only up by a touchdown or maybe 2 touchdowns at that point. And from the Clemson game, I don't know if like you guys saw, but for me, the Clemson defense just wasn't good. Like they had so many open receivers every game, and they had like in previous games, like they were a good team, but they never had like this many open opportunities and wide open receivers. So I don't know if it was like Justin Fields playing really well, which he did, obviously. I don't know if it was that or more of just the Clemson defense just blowing coverage after coverage. Because even the run game was really good for Ohio State. So Clemson didn't really pay attention to either game. So I don't really know.
Yeah, I think two things could be true at once. I think Fields did play out of his mind. I think that Clemson defense was rough. And honestly, I could criticize him very openly because he's my future quarterback.
Yep.
But you can't have 28 points. Come on. What is that? It's a bad offensive showing. That's what it is.
Obviously referring to Trevor Lawrence of the Jags, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Come on. I don't know. What did he have? Like 1 touchdown throw or 2 touchdowns? Maybe 3. The point is,
it wasn't great.
Yeah, wasn't great.
And he had an interception, and it was just like, and that fumble too. It was just like, what the hell was that?
Not great, but he's just setting the tone for his NFL career. So I could respect that. I get it.
Get used to it.
Seriously, it's all downhill from here, buddy.
We'll get to Sundays in a minute. But yeah, what I saw out of the Ohio State game is Trey Sermon is a beast.
Oh yeah, that guy freaking. Oh my God.
Watching him reminds me of the last time Alabama and Ohio State played when they had Zeke Elliott. When he ran for 200 yards on us in the semifinal. I think it was the first year of the college football playoffs. The thing about Trey Sermon is he doesn't accelerate because he's already going at full speed as soon as he gets to the line of scrimmage. He is unreal. I think he had like 275, 280 yards against Northwestern Big Ten.
Yeah, he broke the record, didn't he?
Yeah. And then obviously he follows it up with another 200+ yard game against Clemson. So this guy's special, and he's going to be a big reason why Ohio State has a chance at contending with Alabama next weekend.
Yeah, they're going to need to play like they did last night, which I don't know if it'll happen, but they're going to need it if they have a chance. So.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to see upgraded linebacker play out of Alabama next week, because that front of Alabama of Ohio State with their offensive line, and then Trey Sermon just
really good.
Yeah, it's going to be dangerous, and that second level is going to be where Alabama needs to just win the battles. Christian Harris and Dylan Moses are going to have a task trying to tackle Trey Sermon, so it'll be fun to watch for sure.
They proved everybody wrong. I mean, us three said they're like, oh, they shouldn't have even been in the playoff, and here they are beating second best team in the country, killing them. So they should have been there, and the committee was right. So
Yeah, I mean, I was on when I went on the Washed Up Sports podcast last week. We were talking about an Alabama Clemson final for probably about 10 minutes, just talking about
I know it's one
what
we all
that
wanted.
game would be, which is in my eyes unfortunate that we didn't get that because that would have been probably a game of the century. But I think we're still going to have a great ass game.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this and then the last week, obviously, Jets won. Jaguars lost again, so they clinched that
Idiots.
#1 overall pick for Eric. Eric's
Woo!
happy, I guess.
Big day.
As happy as Eric can get about football these days.
Yeah. It's We'll
Yeah,
see
it's
how it
all,
works out.
it's all relative.
Yeah.
Just any good news is a good day for Eric.
Seriously, it's
Especially with the
I welcome
Jags.
good news, Frank. I welcome good news. Big
Yeah.
fan.
So yeah, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna preview all 32 NFL starting quarterbacks for week 1 of next year. We're gonna run through all 32 teams and give who we think is going to be the starting quarterback come week 1 for that team, obviously taking into account the NFL draft with rookies, free agency, because there's going to be a lot of guys moving around, a lot of guys at the quarterback carousel this upcoming year. And then obviously not accounting for injuries because you can't predict injuries, but let's get it started. I'll start with old reliable. We'll just head up to the NFC East real quick. I'll run through my 4, and then you guys, I'll give it to Frank, and he can run through his 4, and then I'll give it to Eric, and he'll run through his 4. That's how we'll do it.
Perfect.
For the Giants, I got Daniel Jones. I don't think anything's going to change there. If they do end up drafting a quarterback, it's not going to
I'll
be
be shocked if they do.
I wouldn't be shocked if they do. It's not going to be in the first round if they do, obviously. But if they do decide to pick up somebody down the road in the draft, I wouldn't be surprised. If that does happen, I still think it's going to be Daniel Jones starting. Cowboys, I got Dak Prescott. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think the injury just solidified the fact that that the Cowboys are going to have to re-sign him. Jerry Jones would look like a fool if he didn't re-sign somebody after what Dak Prescott has been through this year. So all signs point towards a return for Dak. The Eagles, I have Jalen Hurts. Just the way he's played at the end of this year makes me think he's going to be the starter going forward. I don't know what they're going to do with Carson Wentz, but they got to figure something out. Now, Washington, I got Gardner Minshew.
Oh.
Yeah. I think Minshew Mania is going to make its way up to Washington. I don't see them drafting a quarterback. I don't think they're going to be smart enough to draft a quarterback. They still have Alex Smith. I don't know how much longer he has. Gardner Minshew is going to probably be out of Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence coming in. So I got Minshew Mania up in Washington. Frank, what is yours?
For the Giants, I'm going to go Daniel Jones. I agree with you. I don't think they take a quarterback, and even if they do, I think Jones will be the quarterback week 1. So that's for the Cowboys. I'm agree with you. I'm going to take Dak Prescott. Like I said weeks and weeks ago, I think he deserves the deal that he wants. I think they're going to give it to him. For Philly, I'm going to agree with you again. Say Jalen Hurts because he's played really well in the 2 or 3 weeks he's played starting quarterback for them. But for Washington, I'm going to take Cam Newton. He's a free agent this year. I think they're going to say screw it. Their defense is really good. They need to improve on offense. I think Cam Newton can do that for them. So I'm going to say Cam to Washington.
Eric?
Very nice. All right, so I agree on 3 of 4 with both of you. Obviously, Dak, as much as I'm not a big fan of the Cowboys or him really, he played great before he went down. It's certainly worthy of a starting role. Daniel Jones, for me, this is the make or break year for D Jones. The team's improving around him. The defense is getting better. Maybe, see what Saquon does when he's healthy, see if you can get him a couple of receivers or what have you, whatever.
Devontae.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, what a match made in heaven. Jalen Hurts, if you start Carson Wentz week 1, I'd give Doug Peterson a brain scan or something. I don't know what's going on there. And Washington, we're going to have 3 different ones because I see where you guys are going with the free agent things. It makes sense. But Alex Smith has played fine. I get it. He's older. But I could easily see, bring him back on a 1-year deal just because they're not in great position to take a franchise-changing quarterback at this point. And I honestly think that Alex Smith will give you better play next year than Cam Newton. Cam Newton has thrown 5 touchdowns this year.
Yeah.
I could have thrown 5 touchdowns this year. Gardner Minshew, without his mustache, he's just some backup schlub. So I could see either fit. This could really go either way, but I'll stay on the relatively safe side. And I guess this would be the most predictable out of the 3, but it's still a risk because of Smith's age, his injury history. It's a whole bunch of crap you got to take into account. But I'll go with Smith in Washington.
So not only did Eric make his own pick, he also shit on our picks in the process.
Yeah.
Boom. Hey, you know what? Me pointing out how terrible they are could be supporting it. Washington is exactly a great franchise.
No, you can say that again.
All right, let's head up to the NFC North, where again there's not a lot of controversy. Packers, Aaron Rodgers. That's an easy one. Probably going to be the MVP this year. He's my vote for the MVP. They do have Jordan Love, but coming off an MVP season, it's going to be A-Rod. Bears, I see them sticking with Trubisky. He's played well enough towards the end of this year to get them into a playoff position. So we'll see where it goes from there. But as of now, I think it's Trubisky's job to lose. The Lions, I have them sticking with Matt Stafford. I think they're going to re-sign Stafford. That's an area where you could bring in a rookie quarterback and have him sit for a couple weeks or a month or 2 under Stafford and just learn. Trey Lance is somebody that comes to mind, but I think it's going to be Stafford week 1. And then the Vikings, you have way too much money invested in Kirk Cousins to sit him. So Kirk Cousins for the Vikings. Frank, what's your 4?
I'm actually going to agree with you on all 4. I got A-Rod to the Packers still, Trubisky with the Bears, Kirk Cousins with the Vikings, and Stafford's going to re-sign with the Lions. I think it's inevitable, so I'm going to agree with you.
Eric?
Yeah, I was hoping I'd get a little bit of crap for saying Mitch for Chicago, but you guys pay attention, He's been playing well. He's no longer that meme.
He's actually been playing pretty decently well. So.
He is. He's carried him to a spot where they can make the postseason with Khalil Mack on the defensive side of the ball. You never know what you could do once you get there. So good for him. I think we talked about a make or break year for Daniel Jones. I think it's pretty similar for Kirk Cousins. At this point, I've been following the Vikings decently close this season just because I'm a Cousins fan. That defense has been so bad. I think even Mike Zimmer said the worst defense he's ever had.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins has led the offense to, I believe, the 13th or 12th in points per game. So he's doing fine. He started out really, really, really bad, but ever since he caught his stride, he's doing fine. But yeah, I agree on all 4 as well.
All right, let's move it along then. We'll head down south to the NFC South. Buccaneers, Tom Brady. I think he's finally found his stride towards the end of this year and found his way in that offense where they're one of the best teams in the NFC right now. So I think it's going to be him going forward. I think he's going to give it another year at least. The Saints, I don't know if they're going to draft a quarterback or not, but I think they're going to stick with Taysom Hill week 1, even if they do. Sean Payton said he really likes Taysom Hill, so not my personal preference if I were a head coach, but I think that's what it's going to be. Panthers, my first rookie off the board and on the field, I think this is going to be Trey Lance. I think rookie out of North Dakota State is going to start for Matt Rule and the Panthers. That's going to be a very fun offense to watch if that does happen because you have Trey Lance in there who can literally do anything as a quarterback, and then Christian McCaffrey who can literally do anything as a running back, and then just an all-around dangerous offense. And then the Falcons, I think it's going to be Matt Ryan. I I think they are going to draft somebody. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think Matt Ryan is going to be the starter week 1 until said rookie is ready. Frank?
I'm going to agree with you on 3 out of 4, but I'm going to pick someone different for the Panthers. I think they have too much money invested into Teddy Bridgewater. They talked too highly about him several times throughout the year. They really like Teddy Bridgewater, so I think they're going to stick with him.
Eric?
Yeah, I'll agree with 3 out of the 4 as well. Taysom Hill's sort of impressed me. I don't know. I think in that Saints team,
I just don't like his play style, honestly, but they really like him. So
I get it. I get the hesitance, and I'm not a massive fan. He's fun to watch, but I don't know if I want that to be my franchise guy. Brady should be a shoo-in, like Tyler said, at least 1 more year.
Yeah.
And I have Matt Ryan starting for the Falcons as well. And just as Maine said that Ryan will probably be substitute for a rookie, I'm siding with Frank here. And I think Teddy will start week 1, maybe week 2, and then they'll, pull the curtain out and put in the rookie. But yeah, I think Teddy's a respectable guy. I'm with Frank here.
I mean, he's not bad. I just don't think he's a starting franchise quarterback.
No, he's not. He's good though. He wins.
Good. Yeah, I think he's a good backup, but I don't see him leading the Saints to win anything.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
All right, so just to clarify, Eric, you have Brady, Taysom, Teddy, and Matt Ryan.
Yes.
Okay. Let's head out west to the NFC West. Seahawks, Russell Wilson. Nothing's going to change over there. Rams, Jared Goff. Again, they have too much money. Kind of like a Kirk Cousins situation where it's not ideal, but they do have a lot of money invested in them. So I think they're going to stick with Goff. Cardinals, Kyler Murray. Not much of a question there. And then the 49ers, I have them taking Zach Wilson out of BYU. I think this is the end of the road for Jimmy G. And I don't think Nick Mullins is going to be good enough to be a starter in the NFL. So I'm going to go with Zach Wilson just because he can do a lot. And I think Shanahan's really going to love him. Frank, who you got in the West?
Seahawks, easy. Russell Wilson. He was an MVP candidate for a period of time this year. I don't think it'll change next year. Rams, I agree with you. Jared Goff, he's their guy. They put a lot into him, so I think he's going to stay. Cardinals, Kyler Murray's easy too. He's their guy. He's their draft pick. That guy's a stud. He's going to be great. For the 49ers, I think they're going to stick with Jimmy G. I mean, he had a rough year this year, but last year he led them to the Super Bowl loss. That's got to count for something. So I think they got to stick with him for at least week 1 of next year. If he plays bad next year, then they'll figure it out from there. But I think they got to give him another shot.
Eric?
Yeah, I like the Wilson 49ers pairing. Now, of course, not Russell, Zach, but obviously Wilson, obviously Kyler, obviously Goff, yada, yada, yada. But I, too, with Frank, once again, think that Jimmy G will start maybe for the first week or 2. He's fine, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in him personally, and I think I could honestly see Wilson going to the 49ers. I think that's a really good fit now that Maines points that out. So I'd see Wilson easily starting week 3 for the Niners, but for week 1,
I just think you got to give him another shot after leading your team to the Super Bowl the year previous.
Yeah, but I don't think he led him to the Super Bowl. That was
our quarterback. Listen, something's got to work well. There's 2 sides of the ball. I'm not saying they're a great offense. Obviously, they weren't. They made it on their defense, but something had to work.
I think that was a defense wins you championships, and that defense won them an NFC championship.
And he exactly didn't have the greatest road this year. There was a lot of injuries on that team this year. So
there was. Yeah.
So I think you got to give him at least another 2 weeks to play and see what he's got.
But the injuries were on the defensive front for the most part. And it's not helping when the defense goes down, your team gets worse. If your defense goes down, your offense has to step up, and he did not do that.
Yeah, I mean, he also got hurt for a period of time. So.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the AFC. We'll go east, north, south, west again. So the AFC East. Bills, I got Josh Allen. That's not going to change. Jets. Actually, I'll go Dolphins. Dolphins, Tua. I don't think that's going to change either. Patriots.
This is a toss-up team.
I'm gonna go Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
I think Belichick pulls another 1-year contract out of his ass. I don't know who it's gonna be, but I have my money on Fitzmagic. Just because
Love that nickname.
what he's able to do with absolutely nothing in front of him is incredible to watch. Also, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick to the Patriots is a match made in heaven that nobody thought would ever happen. But we all need it to happen because Ryan Fitzpatrick and Bill Belichick is going to be Super Bowl contender. Telling you. And then the Jets. Probably the one that you guys will dislike the most. I think Sam Darnold is going to be the week 1 start quarterback. I think
they had to draft a quarterback.
I do think they'll pick up Justin Fields. I don't. There's no doubt about that. I don't think they have any other choice at this point. But I do think Sam Darnold is going to be the week 1 starter. I don't know how far along he'll go until Fields takes over, but there's also a chance. I've been seeing some mock drafts where the Jets don't take a quarterback.
Yeah,
it's because they are going to be under a new regime, new GM, new head coach. So maybe they'll want to see what Darnold can do in 1 year. Not the greatest of decisions, but
yeah, it's not the right decision, but it's a decision.
Yeah, and then maybe if nothing works out, they can grab a Spencer Rattler or somebody in the draft the following year. But that's what I got. Frank, who you got?
The Bills, it's going to be Josh Allen again. He's a top 3 MVP pick, I think. I think he'd be number 3 behind Rodgers and Mahomes.
Yeah.
Dolphins, Tua's their guy. He's great. He's going to be another stud like Kyler Murray. I see a really good rivalry developing there. Patriots, I'm going to go a little bit weird. I'm going to go Andy Dalton. He's a free agent this year. I think, like Tyler said, veteran quarterback, just pick him up for 1 year, see what happens. Why not? I wanted to say Jarrett Stidham, but that's a little bit boring, so I'm not going to say that. Jets, I think they do pick up a quarterback. I'm going to go with Zach Wilson. I think he goes number 2 overall. I think he's the second best quarterback in that draft. Although if Justin Fields plays like he did last night in the championship game, he could go second best quarterback in that draft, so you never know. But I think it's Zach Wilson as of right now.
Eric?
I'll say Josh Allen, obviously. Tua, obviously. For the Patriots, I'm going to go boring. I'm going to say Stidham. They're going to pick up a veteran or 2. It's going to be a QB competition. They're going to put in Stidham. They're going to see he could barely throw a football. And then they're probably going to turn to Dalton or Fitzpatrick or another wily veteran out there. But yeah, I think Stidham for week 1, unfortunately. And the Jets, I had Zach Wilson written down, but Justin Fields just threw 6 touchdowns. Give me Fields. Why not?
I think he's got to, I say this every time, but I'm not going to pick a quarterback based on 1 game.
I know, but it's
I say it every time though. That's just my perspective. That happens to me with everything.
I get it.
Because he's played pretty well in the other games, but like he hasn't played like number 2 overall pick well in the other games.
So. Yeah, no, I totally see that perspective, but I just think it's so NFL draft-ish to have a little bit of movement at the top, and I don't know, it's so unpredictable.
Well, we've also seen like in college basketball, for example, where they have like a good playoffs and then their draft just like freaking skyrockets like ridiculously high.
Yeah.
So that could be the same thing here.
It's true. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, we see that all the time in the NFL.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Great comparison.
Thank you. Try my best.
I believe we're going to go to the North and the AFC North. Ravens, Lamar Jackson, nothing special. Browns, they're going to stick with Baker Mayfield. Bengals, as long as Joe Burrow is healthy, he'll be the week 1 starter in Cincy. And then Steelers, Kyle Trask. I think yeah, I think the heir to Big Ben is going to be Big Ben 2.0. If you look at Kyle Trask and Ben Roethlisberger, it's like Daniel Jones and Eli Manning. It's the exact same person. So I think that'll be Trask in Pittsburgh. I think Big Ben is probably gonna get hurt or get suspended or do something stupid in the preseason once once the corona restrictions get lifted. So I think Kyle Trask is gonna be the week 1 starter.
You're like, oh yeah, he'll get suspended.
Yeah,
It's all right.
probably he'll do something stupid. DUI or something. I don't know. What do you
All
got?
right. Well, for the Ravens, it's Lamar Jackson. It's easy. Bengals again. Joe Burrow if he's healthy. Browns, Baker Mayfield. That's easy too. For the Steelers, I think Big Ben's going to come back for another year. I don't know how effective he'll be, but I think he's at least a week 1 starter. So I'm going to pick Big Ben.
Eric?
Yeah, I'll agree with you on the Pittsburgh front. I'll say Big Ben. I think he's won a Super Bowl for that team, maybe even 2.
He's going to playoffs again. I don't think they're going to win shit, but
I
they
think
could.
he's made 2 and 1 win.
Yes, and 1. So yeah, once you win, like we
No,
said,
1-2. He's won 2.
Okay. So you win a Super Bowl or 2. It's the Joe Flacco effect. They held on to that guy far too long.
Yeah, they literally bleed you dry if you win a championship.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be the same thing with the Steelers. Big Ben's going to start week 1. Ravens, Lamar. Browns, Baker. And I agree. If Joe Burrow is healthy, he starts week 1, but I don't think he'll be healthy. And yeah, it looked like a bad injury to me. Maybe I'm nuts, but
All right, talking to the PT guy, Eric. I think he'll be all right.
There you go. But yeah, I'll take Ryan Finley. He beat the Steelers this year. Showed something. They're not going to go out there and sign a quarterback with Joe Burrow in the locker room. So just throw it right. I really think just a random timetable pulled straight from thin air, left field. I think Burrow will be back week 3, week 4, possibly week 2.
Oh yeah, this feels right.
Yeah, right. Just feels right. Ryan Finley could differentiate a little bit. I honestly, I feel like I remember hearing like a month ago, like, yeah, Burrow will not be healthy for week 1, man. So
I mean, his surgeon said he'd be healthy, but like he's gonna say that. That's literally his surgeon. Like he's not gonna say like, oh yeah, he'll be out forever.
He'll be healthy for week 1. Give me money, please. That's what I heard.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he'll be. I don't know how like effective he'll be. It's the same thing I said with KD. Like I don't know how I was wrong about KD, but I could not be wrong here. You never know. Like I don't know how effective he'll be on like a torn ACL because that's like a major injury. So like
yeah,
especially for a quarterback in football, like. You gotta be mobile on the feet, as in any sport. So I don't know how effective he'll be, but I think he'll be back.
I get it. Yeah, I'll say Finley week 1, but obviously, it's Burrow's job.
Yeah, of all the backup quarterbacks you could have chosen, you chose Ryan Finley.
Of all the free agent quarterbacks on the market, he should.
All the free agent backup worthy quarterbacks, the Ryan Fitzpatricks, the Teddy Bridgewaters, anybody. You chose Andy Dalton, Ryan Finley.
He's familiar with the system. And you know what? A Dalton.
Not even Joe Flacco, man. That guy's a stud.
What, Joe Flacco? Frank, you're 7 years late to the party, buddy.
The face Bender just gave me, bro.
Bro, he is an elite quarterback.
Bro, Super Bowl quarterback. What are you saying?
Yeah, just like Kaepernick was. He made the Super Bowl.
Yeah, just like Kaepernick.
Yeah.
That's why we should have kept Eli Manning, man. That guy won a couple Super Bowls with us.
That's how I hear.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the AFC South. Bender's hot spot. Titans, Ryan Tannehill. Nothing's going to change there.
After a really good year from Tannehill, so
they're just going to keep it simple. Texans, Deshaun Watson. They're not going to shy away from him. Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. I think that's unless Trevor Lawrence dies or something.
Unless Trevor Lawrence breaks his leg or something.
No, I think if he breaks his leg, he's still going to be number 1 pick. I think he has to die in order for him to not pick. I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. And then Indianapolis, Cam Newton. I think Phillip Rivers is going to retire. I think Cam Newton is going to take over in Indy. I think he's actually going to find himself in Indy and actually do well.
I don't know. That just doesn't look right to me. But then again, I got like all these new quarterbacks on new teams just look weird.
I think it's going to be great. I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't picture him in a Colts uniform. That's just me.
It's going to be good. All right, who you got?
Titans is Ryan Tannehill. He had a really good year this year. He's going to lead in the playoffs, I think. I think they win the division on Sunday, but let's wait and see. Texans, Deshaun Watson, one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. There's no way they shy away from that. Jaguars, Eric's shithole team, is going to start Trevor Lawrence week 1. That's easy. Number 1 pick, like Tyler said, has to die if he's not the number 1 pick. And I think Colts are going to stick with Philip Rivers. I think he has 1 more year in him. I don't know if it'll be a good year, but we'll see what happens.
All right, Eric, who you got?
Tannehill in Tennessee. I agree with you guys there. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is going to start for my Jags.
I mean, it is the Jags, so they could just sign like a free agent.
Yeah.
Hey, Minshew Mania, just grow back the mustache and you're good.
And you're chilling.
Baby. Come on. Deshaun Watson, obviously, he's played it pretty well with
dude, if he was on a good team, like he would be like really considered for like.
Oh yeah, no. Right now, his offensive line is like us 3 plus 2 like Girl Scouts. Let's face it.
Yeah. So like, if he was on like a decent team.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And I'm gonna go bold here. I'm gonna say Tyler will be proud. Mac Jones, starter for the Colts. It's bold. I'm aware. It's gonna
what pick do they have?
In my opinion, I wouldn't start in week 1, but I think the Colts, they're hungry. They know they have a good team right now. They miss the days of Peyton Manning. They're going to try to emulate something. They want a great quarterback. No offense to Philip Rivers, and he's good. He's, obviously playoff contention here. But I don't know. I just see Mac Jones with the Colts. I can envision it.
I mean, I don't know if Mac Jones is a first-round pick. I don't know, Tyler. I have to defer to you for that one. But I don't know what pick they have. So I don't know what.
He's one of those guys that he could go top 20.
He's a fringe, right? So like he could go either way.
Yeah, quarterbacks are kind of weird.
It's tricky.
Once you get past like the the top tier, the Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Zach Wilson, and maybe Trey Lance, probably going to be those automatic first round picks. It's very rare you see 5 first round quarterbacks in a draft. So I don't think Mac Jones is going to do that. I think if anything, he'll probably be a second round pick, early.
I think his team around him really dampened his chances to be a first round pick because his offense is just like.
That's a good point.
Out of this freaking world.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also shown that he can.
No, he's a good quarterback. But like I think teams will be hesitant to pick him in the first round because they don't really know what he's going to do without like Devontae Smith, Najee Harris, and like that offensive line.
The smart thing to do.
Pair him up.
Yep. In an ideal world, that would be the case. I'm just saying I don't think Devontae Smith is going to follow the Colts because I don't know what pick they have, but it's got to be late because they're
in the playoffs, so it's
got to be late. He's not going to drop that far. So
good. All right, let's go.
If I'm the Giants, I'm taking him at 8. He's there at 8. If you stay
Devontae?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also have Devontae Smith is the best. He's been the best player in college football this year. No doubt about it. You could make an argument that Devontae Smith is the 3rd best wide receiver in this draft class.
Yeah, well, because you have Jamar Chase and then
Jalen Waddle.
And Jalen Waddle. Well, who's hurt? I don't know. Because I've never seen him play because I didn't watch college football.
Jalen Waddle, they said he could be back next week for the national championship.
Oh, well, okay, there you go. But I don't know. I don't think he'll fall that far.
Jalen Waddle's a guy who, if he is healthy next week for the national championship, Nick Saban will have no problem making him the number 1 wide receiver next week.
Well, that's another Alabama conversation, but that's fine.
But what I'm saying is Waddle is so explosive and so special.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like they have Smith, they have Mac Jones, they have Najee Harris, and they didn't even have Waddle the whole year, and we're still saying like this team's.
They didn't even have their best player. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, there goes Bender.
Eric died with Eric.
It's okay. We were expecting it. So this team could have literally been like one of the best offensive teams of all time. But that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. Let's go to the AFC West, and then we can finish up talking about where we each went wrong. Chiefs.
I wonder who the Chiefs starting quarterback is.
Patrick Mahomes. Chargers, Justin Herbert. Raiders. I think they're going to stick with Derek Carr. They should not stick with Derek Carr, but I think they're going to stick with Derek Carr. I just don't see him drafting a quarterback.
Mhm.
It's tough because he's somebody that deserves a starting job in the NFL, but not with the Raiders. So I don't know where it's going to be, but I think I guess it'll be the week 1 starter. I don't know if they draft a quarterback, it's going to be hard to start him. But Broncos, I agree with Eric. I think Mac Jones is going to be a week 1 starter. I think it's going to be out in Denver. I think John Elway is going to get him a new toy, get him Mac Jones. I don't think Drew Lock is the answer there in Denver. I think John Elway knows that his job is on the line if he keeps Drew Lock and doesn't draft the quarterback. So I think they go Mac Jones. Like I said earlier, I think the Broncos should draft either an offensive lineman, because that offensive line has been abysmal this year. Either draft an offensive lineman or draft a wide receiver in the first round, a Waddle or Chase or Smith, and go get Mac Jones in the second round. You could probably steal him in the second round. So that's what I got. Frank, what about you?
Obviously, Patrick Mahomes. That's pretty easy. I'm agree with you with the Raiders. I think they stick with Derek Carr. Chargers, Justin Herbert, probably the rookie of the year this year after running away with it after Joe Burrow's injury.
Justin Jefferson.
It's Herbert. I'm taking Herbert. If we were to pick it today, I'm taking it.
Listen, if we're giving our own opinions, it's Tua. So
it's not Tua. Shut the
it's
hell
going
up.
to be Justin Jefferson.
No, it's not Justin Jefferson. Although he's had a really good season.
Tua's lost 1 game.
Yeah, he also gets taken out in the fourth quarter for Fitzmagic every time.
Bro, they have a starter and then they have a reliever. This is baseball now. The Dolphins.
This is not baseball. I'm not giving a guy a rookie of the year offensively if he gets taken out in clutch time.
Everyone else is out here playing checkers, playing football. The Dolphins are playing fucking chess. They're out here playing fucking baseball.
They're like the fucking Rays or something. Entire bullpen all the time. And that's a whole different conversation too. For the Broncos, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to go Trey Lance. I think they draft a quarterback in the first round. I'm sick of seeing Drew Lock play. I don't know. I'm just bored. He's just not a good quarterback from what I've seen. But I'm not a football person, so I could be completely wrong. But I think they draft a quarterback in the top 10. I think that's what they have right now. So I think they go Trey Lance.
Eric?
Yeah, Mahomes for the Chiefs. Herbert for the Chargers. I'm going to have to agree with you guys. Gruden loves Carr. I don't know why, but he
loves Carr so much. Yeah.
And I'm so with Mainsy on this one. Carr is a starting quarterback. Not for the Raiders, though. Not in Las Vegas. Find him somewhere else. Another team can use this guy, but Gruden's got a freaking Carr fetish, I'm telling you. We're going to stick with Carr. And Broncos, speaking of irrational just loves for quarterbacks, they love Drew Lock. I don't know why.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to pick Drew Lock, but I was like, I just want to see someone else play quarterback for the Broncos.
They're going to start him, but the good news is this is going to last like 3 weeks or something. And they're like, yeah.
Bender's got a lot of changes going on in the NFL about around week 3. He's like half the starting quarterbacks are just gone by week 3.
Oh yeah, you want the carousel starts week 3.
Bender's list looks totally different from week 1 to week 3.
Yeah, if we were going to do week 3 quarterbacks, Bender's list would be completely different. I'm not even sure Patrick Mahomes would start if we did week 3 starting quarterbacks.
It's a good line, Frank.
No, but I think Derek Carr does deserve a starting job. Listen, if it's like Carolina, maybe.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
I don't know. I agree with Eric. I think Gruden has too much of a man crush on Derek Carr.
If the Jets go with, I think Frank mentioned it, or maybe Maines mentioned it, there are mock drafts where the Jets don't go quarterback. Good job, Tyler. Try to get Derek Carr. Listen, no one could see.
You have to trade for him. I don't think they're gonna. I don't know.
If they don't draft a quarterback, they're sticking with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I think you have to draft a quarterback or stick with Darnold.
I don't know. Well,
I think it'd be dumb not to draft a quarterback because he got some pretty good quarterbacks in this class. But
draft a quarterback then.
Yeah, don't be dumb.
Sam. Sorry, I know you're a viewer, but
yeah, I think Sam's done in New York. I think New York's done with Sam, and I think Sam's done with New York.
Sam, that's a guy. It's he'll be a backup somewhere in my eyes. I get it. He's still young.
I think he could still do it. I mean, he was really good at USC, so I think I think someone else will give him a shot. I don't.
I get
Sure.
it, and I was really high on him coming out of college, but I think the Jets, much like they're a Jaguar-esque franchise, they break people. They
Oh
shatter
my
their
God, they're
dreams.
so bad, dude.
Yeah.
They had a good team for like 3 years, and they're just like, screw it, tear it all down. I'm done.
Oh yeah, baby.
No, the problem with Jaguars is the Jaguars give quarterbacks hope. They make quarterbacks think that they're good, and then make them
Listen, man, you can't shit on the Jaguars. They've made a championship game.
like
the
Blake
recent
Bortles.
years.
They made Blake Bortles look good.
Yeah.
Blake Bortles is now a third string quarterback. They make Gardner Minshew look good.
He's now a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, he should be a starting quarterback.
He's got some
Jake
talent.
Luton is not the answer in
Well,
Jackson.
no, I'm not saying that he is. I just don't know if Gardner Minshew is a starting quarterback anywhere else.
I don't know. It's Luton isn't a star in the CFL. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, well, they're tanking. They're doing what the Jets should be doing.
They're doing a great job.
I'm kind of shocked. I didn't hear Dwayne Haskins.
Eh,
I
he's got character issues.
yeah, I think he's just like
He does.
Yeah.
he's a guy that's like doesn't like you hear about it all the time. He just doesn't work hard. He's not dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Like I forget maybe it was Booger McFarland, I think, or something. Like he's very show offy, but it never translates to anything. So I think it's going to be the same thing. I don't think it translates to anything good for Dwayne Haskins.
I believe we all have Drew Brees retiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want him to retire, but I think
I
it's.
don't think anybody wants him to. But yeah, I think it's
especially after the major injury he had this year.
Yeah.
So, but don't worry, they're going to the Super Bowl, just like I said. It's fine.
Let's say.
Oh.
Now wait, how are they going to make it to the Super Bowl if the Giants are in this playoffs? What are you talking about, Frank?
Oh, you're right.
Fucking stupid.
Can I change my pick?
Oh.
Too late. You're locked in.
Dude, oh my God. Can't believe freaking
Eric, wasn't your pick for the NFC East the Eagles?
Yeah, the only team eliminated right now. Yeah.
Good job.
Giants aren't going to make it either.
No, they're not. But at least they're playing for something. Week 17.
Listen, we just gotta win because in Washington we win, Washington lose.
They play Philly. I don't know. Philly could beat them.
Philly could be Washington.
Yeah.
Interesting. We were just saying, good job, the Philly's so bad. And now you're like,
Well, yeah, but the one game they can
Washington's
win does not
bad.
translate to the other 16 that they've been terrible for. Well, 13 because they've had a couple of games.
Washington's
Listen,
dog
man.
shit.
yeah, no, they are.
Well, they're all dog shit.
They're all terrible.
Yeah.
They're all dog shit in their own
It's
stuff.
so funny. It's like hilarious. Like same thing with us. And it's the same thing on TV. Like we were so low on the NFC East, and then they started winning some games, and we're like, "Oh, this division could actually be good." And then they lose like all 4 in a row, and we're like, "Oh no, just what we thought. They're terrible."
Yeah.
Simply a tease in the NFC East.
Yeah, such a tease. I was so excited, man. I was like, maybe I'll be really wrong. I was like, I love being wrong. It's fun because you guys shit on me. It's fun.
Yeah, no one said Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
No one said Carson Wentz.
I wanted to say Carson Wentz to the Patriots, but I don't think anyone takes that contract.
Yeah, Bill definitely doesn't.
Yeah, I was like, maybe you can find something, but I was like, yeah.
No one had Dak Prescott leaving Dallas.
Daniel Jones still playing for the Giants.
Any times. Yeah. I think that's gonna stay for at least another year.
Yeah.
Get him a weapon because he's.
What they pick him at 5? I don't think he can get whatever 5 or 6. I forget what it was.
Ray.
Maybe I don't freaking remember. But if you have like a top 10 pick at quarterback, you can't give up after 2 years of him just like. I know that the one thing we said about him, like stop the turnovers, and this year he stopped the turnovers. So, at least the second half of the year. First half was about the same, but he's getting better. I think you got to give him another shot.
I agree.
They dodged a bullet not drafting Haskins. That's for sure.
I know. Look like everyone's like we're all idiots now. Because I remember when we had the draft, Tyler was like, and same thing. I was like, "Where's Haskins? Why didn't they draft Haskins?" And sure enough, here we are. Danny Dimes is still playing. Not at a great level, but still playing.
Yeah.
The Spender's Mac. Just completely.
No, I think that's mine.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, just to wrap it up, can't have a show without having weekly picks. So
Of course. What is this?
this
Gotta make
week,
this.
having no significant sports on. I mean, yeah, we do have college basketball. We do have.
I happen to love college basketball.
Yeah.
Don't sound too excited for it, Tyler.
The bowl season is wrapping up. I think the final games are today, and then we got the national championship game next week.
Which Eric is running away with, by the way. It's like not even close.
Yeah, Eric has already clinched our little bowl mania thing.
This is news to me.
Yeah, dude, you fucking.
Me and Tyler are close, and then it's just like you just fucking.
I think I lead Frank by like 3 points, and then you're up by like 30.
Jeez.
It's because you had all of your like big games on like the minor conferences.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
And of course, Clemson screws me. I was like,
thanks Texas, thanks Appalachian State, if that's even the.
Yeah, you put big money on Appalachian State.
Appalachian.
Appalachian. Sorry, my fault.
Memphis, love you, buddy. 21 points.
Dude, Coastal did me so dirty.
Yeah, bro, me too. I had him
my God.
fucking 19.
I had like 20 something.
All right, picks for this week. We got college basketball because we have nothing else on. So this afternoon, number 8 ranked Texas is playing number 3 ranked Kansas, and we are going to pick who wins because we have nothing else to pick.
Dude, why are you shitting on college basketball so hard? There's a lot of good games on today.
No, frankly,
bro, you guys. Oh my God, you guys all hate college basketball until it's March, and you're like, let's watch March Madness.
I'm telling you, college basketball is so incredibly stupid.
What are you?
That might be
how? Literally how? It's better than the NBA. It's better than the NFL.
Doesn't matter. The regular season literally doesn't matter.
What do you mean? No.
Fantastic.
The regular season does not matter. All of these teams make the conference championship, and then based on how
on the Ivy League, Tyler, you've been on the ass by the Ivy League before.
Okay, the fact that you have to bring that up just further proves my point. The fact that the only teams that matter in the regular season is the Ivy League just proves my point.
It's not true. It's not true.
Basketball does not matter.
I love college basketball.
It doesn't matter until you get to March. It doesn't matter.
I don't agree with you. That's just my point of view. Tyler just hates on everything that I like.
He doesn't hold
College football, you lose.
Don't even.
You lose one game, you're out of the playoffs.
It's stupid. That's why I don't watch it. It's so stupid.
You have every single game everything is on the line.
Dude, you have a six.
Once and you're done.
Are we really about to have this argument right now?
Dude, college basketball,
bro.
You lose
Cincinnati goes 9-0. They don't lose a game. They're ranked 8.
Dude, Frank, if you go winless, if you go 0 and however many the fuck games they play, let's say it's 50, you go 0-50, and you're in one of those.
What is this freaking analogy?
And you're in one of those stupid scam conferences that you get a fucking participation trophy, so everyone makes the conference championship, and you happen to go on a run and win the conference championship. You make the fucking tournament, having not won a single fucking game in the regular season.
I'm sorry, I don't want the same 5 teams making the same playoff every freaking year. We're always rooting for Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, or Oregon every other year. Like, who gives a shit? It's the same 5 teams in it every single season.
Well, that's a different conversation if you want it.
What do you mean? That is the conversation. I'd rather see a team that goes 0-50 make a run than a freaking Alabama team that wins like 10 games every year, except for last year, and make the conference championship or the national championship.
That run is going to happen in March. The fucking regular season doesn't matter.
It's not true. It's not true. You're just saying this because you're a football school. I don't have any football in my school. This is all we got.
But we're baseball school.
No, you're not. God, Tyler just pisses me off. He literally, I go to Seton Hall, and he knows that all we have is basketball. He's like, this doesn't matter at all. Don't even watch. Like,
college basketball.
Sorry, I don't have a team that freaking gets like 5-star recruits 6 times a year for every football season.
You should be mad.
Poor Frank. That sucks, man.
At least I can count to 12.
You should be mad. You should be upset that you're a basketball school and your basketball team is not even as good
Bro, we're not having this argument right now. I can't. I'll literally I can't do it. I'll literally freaking flame the shit.
And I'm being generous saying it's better than Bender's.
Dude, I'm about to hang up. I'm about.
He's just straight up messing with you. Oh my god, Tyler, this got off the
Because
rails.
he knows it pisses me off. He knows how to push my buttons all the time.
All right, Texas.
Pick
And
the game.
who you got?
Who do I have? I'm gonna take Kansas. It's their top 3 team in the country. It's like, well, I even say top 2 because Baylor hasn't played anybody. But they got Jalen Wilson. This guy's a stud. They shoot 40% from 3. They're a good 3-point shooting team. It's like Gonzaga is best of the best, not even close. No one's close to them. Baylor, who hasn't played anybody yet, and then Kansas. So I'm gonna take Kansas.
Eric, who you got?
Kansas riding an 8-game winning streak. I agree. I'm high on Kansas. I like birds, man, So I'm going with Kansas.
I'm just so pissed off with Tyler right now.
Yeah, I'll take the Jayhawks too. There's not
Tyler, can you name one player on Kansas besides the one I just said?
No. You know why? Because I don't watch.
Because it doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hey, give him till March. He'll have that roster
Yeah,
member.
he'll have it March 1st when the freaking March Madness bracket comes out.
Listen, end of February, I couldn't tell you a single fucking player. March 1st comes around, I can give you the starters, I can give you the reserves, I can give you their recruits coming in, I can give you the fucking fans sitting in the front row, I can give you anybody you want.
Oh my god, this is such an argument. He gets me so mad, I swear to God. Same 5 teams. Let me say this. If Alabama wasn't a good football team that wasn't like top 5 every year, Tyler would hate college football. Just saying.
No, it's so fun to watch though, because everything is on the line every single week.
There's only 5 games that matter every week. It's the top 5 teams. That's the only team that make the freaking playoffs. It's so annoying.
It's not the same, man. I'm not even like Frank. I totally get your perspective, but it's not the same. Like
it is. Clemson and Alabama have each. There's been 7 years of the college football playoff. Clemson and Alabama's made 6. Ohio State's made, I think, 5. It's the same teams every year.
Yeah, no. I get it. You have a sprinkle.
Like if you're not a fan of those 5 to 6 teams that make the playoffs, it's pointless.
There's got to be more than 6 teams that have made the playoffs. I know.
Oh, I'm sure there's more than 6, but it's just like the same. It just feels like the same 6 teams every year.
I get it. No, I get the gripe.
So if you don't go to one of those 6 schools like Tyler does, like Tyler happens to do, there's no point in watching because your team's not going to make the playoff and they're not going to win the championship. There's no point in watching.
Well, by that logic, why would I watch any playoff games in any sport? Jaguars aren't going to make the playoffs ever again.
It's not my fault your team sucks.
Listen, it's consensus. It's consensus that the Chiefs are going back to back in the NFL. Why are we even watching football?
But at least other teams make the playoff. There's only 4 teams, or 5 teams that make the playoff.
Frank.
Look what happened yesterday. Clemson freaking lost. We all thought Clemson would win. That's not my point. My point is that if you're not a fan of 5 teams every year, you're not going to make the playoff, and you don't even have a shot.
You got Oklahoma, you got Oregon, Notre Dame doesn't always make it. LSU, Georgia, Florida was on the fringe this year. A&M was on the fringe this year.
That's what, Tyler. There's 3. Okay, I'll revise. There's 3 teams that are usually most likely in the mix: Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State.
Yes.
If you're not a fan of those 3 teams, you're probably not winning a national championship. You're probably not going to make the playoff. So why even watch it if you're not a fan of those 3 teams? Other teams make the playoff. They have a shot. These other teams don't.
Listen, I think it should be 8 teams. I think it should be 8 teams in the college.
When it's 8 teams, I'll shut the hell up. But right now, it's not 8 teams.
Yeah, I get it. But at the same time, I think there are more teams that could make the playoff. Like honestly, Maine's
I don't. That's just my perspective.
I honestly agree with them there. But the best way to do this, push it up to 8 teams. Why not?
If it's 8 teams, then I'll shut the hell up because the more actual teams have chances to make it.
Yeah, I get it.
As it is right now, if you don't go to Alabama, Ohio State, or Clemson, you usually don't have a shot. So it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, but it just makes the regular season that much more important.
It's not important. If you're Cincinnati, if you're on one of those teams that goes undefeated and you don't make the playoff, it's not important. Doesn't matter. We all know they're not going to make the playoff, so what's the point?
Okay, that's a special case. I mean, Cincinnati, yeah.
Not a special case. It happens every year.
No, it doesn't.
there's always a team that loses one game or no games that doesn't make the playoff because they don't play in a major conference and they're not one of the three powerhouses.
That's the fall of the group of 5. But if you have
The group of 5's bullshit. They don't do anything.
But if you have a Power 5 team that goes undefeated,
Exactly. But the only teams that win the Power 5 conferences are Alabama, maybe Florida, one couple years. Ohio State always wins the Big Ten, almost always. So and Clemson usually wins the ACC. 9 times out of 10, they win the ACC.
Michigan won the Big Ten a couple years ago.
It's usually Ohio State. 9 times out of 10, it's Ohio State.
Penn State's usually a contender.
No, dude. Contenders great.
Wisconsin, if they fucking didn't get their fucking games canceled this year, they were projected to make the playoffs.
That's great. They didn't. I don't care what you're projected to do.
Because they didn't play enough games.
How many games did they play?
3.
Well, that's just my perspective. That's just what I think. I think it's done.
I think there's too many good teams in college football for you to be saying that.
That's fantastic. There's a lot of good teams in every sport, but only 4 of them make it, and usually 3 out of the 4 are the same teams.
We'll come back to this discussion 3 or 4 years from now, and you're going to be talking about a whole different set of teams.
I love that. I would love that. But right now, it's pointless.
It's not.
It is.
3 years. Okay, let's hold on. And then we're going to wrap this up. What was 3 years ago was 2017.
Good math.
2017. College football playoff.
Eric's just sitting here letting us shout at each other, and he's just like,
it's interesting. You guys are both making really valid points,
Hard
to pick one side of the aisle or the other.
God, this is a really bad example.
Oh, let's hear it. No, read it to me. What are the teams in it?
All right, number 1 was Alabama. Number 2 was Clemson.
Yeah.
Number 3 was Ohio State.
Wait, hold on. So pause. The year that you chose, I didn't even look it up and say, what about this year? You chose that year, and it just happened to be those 3 top teams.
Take a guess who number 4 was.
I don't freaking care. Who cares? They probably didn't have a shot.
It was Washington.
Fantastic. Did they win? No.
No.
But no. But now we're talking. We're just talking about getting to the playoffs. We're not talking about winning the playoffs.
But they don't have a real shot.
If you're in the playoffs, you got a shot. You're 2 wins away. You got a shot.
But again, my point still stands because it was Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. It's the same. You only have. There's basically one playoff spot that's open every single year for every other team. So maybe you'll get lucky and be Washington in 2017, random year where they're good. Other than that, you're not making the playoff and you're not winning anything. You can win a random bowl game if you want, but no one's going to talk about that.
You're so wrong.
How? You literally looked up a random year and it literally proved my point flawlessly.
2016. You had Michigan State make it. You had Oklahoma make it. 2015. Florida State, Oregon. I mean, if you asked me 5 years ago who's going to be in the college football playoff 5 years from now, I think Florida State would be in that conversation. Florida State's one of the worst teams in college football now. Things change.
They don't. They feel the same every year.
LSU. Look at LSU.
Again, an SEC team. If you're not, oh my God, you're so annoying, Tyler. You're literally just freaking love the SEC and all those Power 5 conferences just because you go to one of those schools.
Doesn't matter because the SEC has.
It doesn't. If you're not in one of the 5 conferences, it doesn't matter. And if you're not a top 2 team in that conference, it doesn't matter.
All right, we got to wrap it up.
As much as I love watching this lovers spat, we have places to be.
Oh my God, dude, he pisses me off so much. I literally can't.
It's a separate podcast. Well, hey, man, I'll put it in the discussion points. We'll touch on
it. Stay tuned for our interview with Coastal Carolina tight end Isaiah Likely next week. That'll be a fun one. Future NFL stud, calling it now. But yeah, for the boys, I guess we're gonna sign off. Adios.